Hey guys, it's Brigitte Blais speaking, fitness expert. We are in Windsor right now at the Kubota Club in Windsor at the Fitness and Lifestyle Show. We're here with Jim Germanakos, the winner of Season 4 of The Biggest Loser. So we just have a couple questions for you, Jim, and hopefully we get through this very quickly. All right, here you go. All right, so I'm just going to ask you here, so any tips on staying motivated for the long term? What do you do to stay motivated once the excitement of a new plan or goal have faded?
Well, for me, staying motivated is just continuing to do a lot of things I couldn't do before with my family, and spend time in the gym, set more short-term goals, reasonable goals, and that's really it. I don't want to get back to the person I was before. I'm doing so much more. I'm doing so much better. My family is loving that I could do all these things, and I'm enjoying a lot more things like running. I never ran before. Did a couple of marathons and doing some powerlifting in the Police Olympics. So the whole lifestyle change has been great.
Well, that's awesome. Quick question here. So you are a police officer and being a shift worker. So how do you maintain a good lifestyle and nutrition because you're working so many long hours?
Well, you should look at that.
Sorry.
Here
you go.
Being a shift worker, I work at night, 12-hour shifts as a police officer, and I found that the best way to maintain a steady program is preparation. To bring enough food to eat every 3 hours, if that's what my plan has me doing. Plus the fact that as a police officer I can get involved in a lot of other things, investigations and arrests, so I usually bring an extra bag full of grilled chicken or whatever I'm eating just in case I get stuck. So it's all about prep work when you're a shift worker and you work at night. In my town I have a couple of bodegas and maybe Dunkin' Donuts, so there's really no healthy choices there, so it's all about prep work. Brigitte.
All right, thank you very much. I think I'm going to stay on you for the question. It's easier.
Okay.
Any tips on transitioning from weight loss to maintenance, and any good tips for keeping it off once you reach your goal? So how do you keep it off for the long term?
Well, for me, weight loss was a contest, and I had a very specific timeline for my goal. I actually agree with the people that say that the more steady you do it, the slower and steadier you do it, the longer you keep it off. My goal was to lose a pound a day. 7 pounds a week is a lot. I had weeks where I just continued to do cardio until I lost 10 pounds for the week. But I had 8 months to do it. I lost 180 pounds plus. But when people tell me, well, I only lose 2 pounds a week, I remind them that 2 pounds a week in 1 year is more than 100 pounds. If slow and steady wins the race. So for me, going from weight loss to maintenance was easy because my body couldn't take the training I was doing anymore. I was in a lot of pain. My elbows, my knees, everything was hurting. I was just overtraining. But it was for a contest that we won, and the diet, was very specific, and it was very strenuous, and I was miserable. But like I said, it was all about the Spartan spirit, and Bill and I wanted to prove that we could do it. Like now, maintenance is just enjoying a healthy fitness, fit lifestyle, and I explain to people you don't have to be skinny you have to be 160 pounds to be fit. My cholesterol is good now, my blood pressure, all that, and I'm not even as thin as I'd like to be because I suffered an injury, 2 injuries last year, a torn hamstring and then a torn quadricep, which left me out of work for almost 4 months, where I couldn't do any cardio, and it was after running the marathon, the New York City Marathon. So now it's amazing how quick you could lose your fitness when you're not doing it every day or every week. So now I'm back to looking for my, for the right mojo, and back to my food journal, and back to my, cardio, walking uphill on the treadmill and spinning and doing all the stuff that got me there.
Great, that sounds excellent. And just going about motivating, is there any mantras or quotations or song that boost your motivation during your workout?
Well, one of our mantras is no more excuses. So when I talk to people, even about my current fitness, because I'm a little heavier than I'd like to be, they say, well, how come you gained weight when you tore your knee? It's still about what you eat, and they're giving it back to me, which is true. But my reasoning is not an excuse. It's just a reason. And when people gain weight, it's all because of what you put in your mouth. Even people that keep food journals and try their best, a lot of times people leave out condiments. A lot of times people leave out what they're drinking, the milk and sugar in your coffee. I mean, little things that send you over your calorie count. Never mind that those big the big Thanksgiving dinners, and I only go out once a week and go drinking. And if you want to do it, you have to really set your goals and stick to them.
Excellent. Just going back over when you were at the ranch, you were in the black team, and you were trained by Jillian most of the time.
Right.
And Bob was there as well. Is there any, what's the best piece of advice that you got from them?
Oh, wow. The re-education we got from Bob and Jillian was great, but some of the very earliest things we learned from Jillian, first of all, were to get off of pop and soda. Aspartame is bad. It's a weight loss inhibitor. So we did that. A couple of other things were doing our cardio on an empty stomach and eating our carb meal right after the cardio to get residual burn, as you're coming down off of your stressful HIIT training or whatever intervals you're doing, your heart rate is high. So eating carbs after cardio, eating protein after your resistance training. One thing that Jillian did for us every day, which is different from what you'd hear from a bodybuilding type of trainer. Bodybuilders do push one day and pull another day. So you'll do chest and triceps today, you'll do back and biceps tomorrow, you may have a day just for your legs. What we did with Jillian was compound resistance. We did push and pull on the same superset, and we would do at least 3 different exercises, same exercise, and then we'd move to another set of 2 exercises, supersetted 3 times, and it was all push and pull. So we may do a bicep exercise while then superset it with a pushing exercise, and between every set we would do jumping jacks or other cardio, running in place, or static squats or lunges. So it was non-stop with Jillian. A lot of people ask me about the Last Chance workout. The Last Chance workout was like everyday workout. It was just on camera. It was a lot of screaming and yelling, and it was a lot of intensity. But we did a lot of circuit training for that Last Chance workout. So Jillian taught us also to have your protein meals after your resistance training, because you need your protein for rebuilding the muscle. So there was a lot we learned, but it's available to everybody in the books that we have putting out through The Biggest Loser, the fitness books, and Jillian's book, Winning by Losing. So it's out there. You just got to find it.
Awesome. Thank you very much. All right, guys, just stay put, because we have 2 more questions to go through. I'm sure you're anxious to get to find out what they are. So my other question for you is, do you have any advice for people who have a lot of weight to lose and they just don't know how to get started or want to take the first step?
Okay. Well, if you want to know what we did and what we do on The Biggest Loser, it's the same thing you can do. You got to start with your doctor. You got to go to the doctor. You got to let him know that you're ready to make a difference in your life, and then you have to use the available resources you have, which include psychologists that are going to help you figure out what your underlying issues and problems are that got you obese in the first place. And you're going to speak to your nutritionist and learn a little bit more about proper nutrition and not just what you hear on TV from people that are trying to sell products. So see your doctor, see your nutritionist. You could just usually get a referral to your psychologist, and then you have to find out what your basal metabolic rate is, your resting metabolic rate, so you know how many calories your body's burning. Then you have to subtract 20 or 25% depending on what your trainer wants you to do. And as long as you're eating less calories than you're burning, you're going to lose weight. It's simple math. So for me, my base metabolic rate was 2690. My calorie intake was 2000. I have a 690 calorie deficit every day. Just that alone times 7 is 4,200 calories. Without any exercise at all, it's a pound and a half of weight loss a week.
Right.
Tack on exercise, and of course you're burning more. So.
And that information is available to anyone basically on the website.
Yeah, and even through your doctor. You can go to Google and you could Google BMR calculator, and you put in your age and your weight and a couple of measurements, and it'll give you, generally speaking, a pretty close count to what you're burning every day. My Beverly Hills doctor number was 2690, but my Google number, when I did it just in 2 minutes, was only 55 off that. So that's one low-fat yogurt. It's
awesome. And just one last question here is how do you get back on track after you're falling off the wagon? Now, as we know, we are into mid-February now, so people's resolution of January 1st probably fall off the wagon right now at this point. So how do you get back onto it, and what would you recommend to people?
Great question. And being the fact that I'm really trying to find my perfect schedule again, too, the best thing you could do to stay on track and to stay with your resolution is to reset your goals. Okay, if you couldn't stick with what your resolutions required you to do, then make new goals. If you want to try to stick to those resolutions, then just become accountable to somebody. Get a trainer, get a partner, get a brother, get a family friend, somebody you could report to. Let them ask you, when you're stepping on the scale every Monday morning, let them ask you, what was your weight, this week, and what are you going to do different? You have to become accountable to somebody. I had an advantage because I was accountable to Jillian, but for me also, I was involved in the contest. So, having a long-term goal. For me, my long-term goal was only 8 months away. Other people's long-term goal may be 5 years away. Right. So you have to set attainable goals, and if you don't think you can attain them, just reset your goals.
Perfect. Well, thank you very much for taking the time to have this interview with me, Jim. And we'll hope to see you again in Ontario.
Thank you. I'll be back next year at the Fitness and Lifestyle Expo.
Excellent. Well, there you have it, guys. So if you want more information or you want to contact me, well, it's Brigitte.Blais at yahoo.ca. We'll see you again later.